half of this program, you'll be able to do things like building and designing the LEGO Mindstorm robot, as you can see in the picture. At the end of the engineering design program, you have a choice of your design process. In my case, I was in the engineering learning community, which I'll tell you about later. So for my design project, the topic was sustainability, and I designed a rainwater catchment system for an existing greenhouse. So the engineering learning community is where you live in Myers Hall with the rest of the ELC freshmen. You take the same classes together, and you have formal weekly tutoring sessions. In addition, you get to do various social and engineering-related events. For example, I got to go to Pico's headquarters in Center City, and we got to tour their green roof, as you can see in the picture. I'm in the light blue hoodie, and one of my best friends that I met through the ELC is next to me in the Drexel hoodie. And funny story about that, his little brother is now in the current ELC class. So after your freshman year, you can take part in the STAR program, for students tackling advanced research. This is where you work under a Drexel professor, and you get a stipend to cover your expenses as you do research. At the end of the STAR program, you will present at the poster session. So for my STAR experience, I focused on green infrastructure. So I worked on the greenhouse on campus, which you might have seen in the introductory video for a small moment. I worked under Dr. Montalto. So what I did is I measured the stomatal conductance, or essentially the health of a plant, of 2 different species of plants, to see which would be better for a green infrastructure perspective. And then at the end, I got to present my findings. So I did enjoy my time during the STAR program, but I realized I don't really want to study plants. But I did like the green infrastructure side of it, which led me to my first co-op with the Philadelphia Water Department. Here I work in Center City, Philadelphia in the design unit. As I mentioned, I did green infrastructure, and in this case, instead of focusing on the plants that would be going inside of the green infrastructure, I was designing the outer casing to make sure that from a stormwater management perspective, we'd be able to contain all the runoff from the street. In addition, I got to go to various site visits, as you can see in the pictures, one of which is a sewer reconstruction project, and another is a water main break that we had a few years ago. Now, as a civil engineer, there's a lot of jobs in government positions. However, as a co-op, there are so many opportunities for you. Take, for example, Anthony, who just moved to Colorado to do a co-op in R&D. Or even the size of the co-op can vary. You can be like Jared, working for a nationally known company like Merck, or stay local like Cole, who's working for Woodward McCoach. Now, as I mentioned before, I worked for PWD, and I like the green infrastructure side, but the one thing I really liked was the design process, which led me to my second co-op with Pinoni Associates. Here I worked at company headquarters, which was also in Center City, Philadelphia, and I worked in the transportation division. And honestly, I loved what I did here because I'm working with people that are doing exactly what I want to do after I graduate. My boss is a Drexel alum, and he encouraged me to apply for the BSMS program. Now back to the projects that I've been working on. One of the main projects I worked on was the Abington retaining wall. So I made sheets like these for each of the property owners so that they understood what would be happening to the front of their property. As I mentioned before, I'm from the Abington area, so being able to make an impact like this so close to home was pretty awesome. Another main project that I worked on was a bridge reconstruction project. So the last known plans that they had were from the mid-1970s and were hand-drawn, as you can see above. So it was my job to take these and to translate them into using a computer-aided design program to something that we could use to assess the current bridge. Although the co-op program formally ended a few weeks ago, they have asked me to stay on part-time to continue projects like these. Now for life outside of classes. And I promise you, even as an engineer, there is life outside of classes. I am currently the Vice President of Drexel Suite, or Society of Women Engineers. This past October, I got to travel to Los Angeles to National Conference, and I even got to meet the President of National Suite. I'm also a tutor for Drexel ACE, or the Academic Center for Engineers, which is a great resource if you're struggling with any of your engineering classes. I am also the webmaster of Drexel ASCE, or American Society of Civil Engineers, where I essentially run the Facebook and Twitter and all the other social media aspects. And I am also a member of Phi Sigma Chi, which is a National Co-Ed Honors Fraternity. Here I've met some of my best friends that are all different Drexel majors, and I've gotten to do some various social and service events. Recently, I got to use my construction background to create the letters that you see above. Now, I remember being in your shoes, watching this same presentation not too long ago, and I knew there would be opportunities for me at Drexel, but I never would have imagined that I'd be able to travel to Los Angeles for a national conference, or work part-time at my co-op while continuing my education. And I still have 2 years to go, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. Thank you all for coming out today. If you have any questions for me, I'll be at the civil engineering session after this. Enjoy your day at Drexel.